This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Your toxic of it. That was Britney Spears' iconic song, Toxic, just like her father, to start the show off. And of course, as we talk about her big win in court yesterday, welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Thursday, July the 15th. I'm Steph here with Tori and Al. Jeff has got the day off. So given we've had such a beautiful opening, let's get to it because it was a huge day for Britters yesterday. She was back in court for her conservatorship case and she posted this video to celebrate her big win, showing off her horseback riding and doing some cartwheels. And in the post, Britney said, "Coming along, folks, coming along with new real representation today. I feel gratitude and blessed." She also thanked fans, and for the first time, she used the hashtag #FreeBritney. Britney was also referring to her new legal counsel, this high-profile former federal prosecutor, Matthew Rosengard. So the judge in the case yesterday allowed Britney to finally choose her own lawyer. And during the court hearing, Britney, who called in, said that she wanted to press charges against her father, Jamie Spears, for conservatorship abuse. She also broke down in tears at times while describing the abuse. She also claims that it all happened to her. It was really, really sad, and I am thrilled. But what do you guys think? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
Not only light, they blew up the tunnel in some respects. Because
well, that would be bad, because then you can't get out.
But it opens the other end.
Not necessarily.
No, in my head.
One end you could
there's a safety TNT team, and they know what they're doing in this tunnel.
Okay.
I would simply say that because the judge found her competent enough to have her own lawyer, that means she's competent enough for many, many other things. So this is a huge change from all the while she couldn't make a decision. And also, Steph, I always made fun kind of in the beginning of Free Britney, and you've always been very strong Free Britney. And I didn't realize how bad it was. She said she couldn't have coffee, she couldn't have a baby. She couldn't have French fries. She couldn't get her nails done. She had to work 70 hours a week with a fever. It was miserable.
Yeah, it is. The word abuse doesn't even cover every single emotional, physical, mental, and what that girl has been through. I mean, that's going to leave some serious trauma for the rest of her life. Yeah. And I'm so glad that she's found sorry, I've got to say allegedly. But yeah, I just think the things that she's gone through and her experiences of the past few years. I mean, I saw a lot of Britney's fans saying, "We failed you in 2008. We are not going to fail you now," and I strongly believe it. And I honestly think in today's modern age, with things like Netflix doing expose documentaries or like deep dives, I often think it brings to light so many elements that are often overlooked or very well hidden. And we've seen a lot of Britney's father's side of the team jumping ship left, right, and center.
Yeah. So, and this new lawyer is like Spielberg's, like he's the top.
Oh yeah, I've got a list.
Top.
He's also represented Steven Spielberg, Keanu Reeves, Sean Penn.
Yeah, that's who
Winona
she needs.
Ryder.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but we are all with you, Britney. We love you. You've got this. All right, talking about another person who's been having some hard times, it's Chrissy Teigen. She's been opening up about her life following her bullying controversy. So Chrissy came under fire last month after some old tweets of hers were resurfaced where she called on celebs like Courtney Stodden and Lindsay Lohan to kill themselves. Chrissy has since apologized. So in a recent Instagram post, Chrissy said she feels lost and is not handling being cancelled well. She went on to write, quote, "Cancel Club is a fascinating thing and I've learned a whole lot, and it's hard to talk about because obviously you sound whiny when you've clearly done something wrong. It just sucks." So what do you think about her post? Do you think she is part of the cancel club? Do you think she deserves for us all just to forgive her? What do you think?
I think she's in the cancel club because she's allowing herself to be in the cancel club. I think when we look at somebody like Wendy Williams, who did something horrendous on her show a couple days ago.
Sway?
Yeah, when she kind of made fun of that Instagrammer. And she, a couple months ago, she made a joke about somebody jumping to their death. Did she get canceled? We're talking about people that really died, and she made jokes about it. People were like, "Oh, that's wrong," but she moved on. But when you allow them to come for you and you hang your head and put your hat in hand like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm sorry," they're gonna come for you. Unfortunately, we're learning that doubling down on saying I wasn't wrong works. I think we saw it with the last 4 years with our president. He never admitted he was wrong. I don't care how you feel politically. It doesn't matter how I feel. It's just a tactic when people come for you, and it seems to work, Tori.
Yeah, here's the thing. I really agree with you. I wish she'd stand up straight and get off the internet, to be super honest. What she did was horrible. And she, in some respects, I don't like the word cancel culture. I say consequence culture. She had some consequences, right? She got canceled by some of her brands, as she should. To get back on and sort of whine about it, and again, she used the word whine. I'm going to look like I'm whiny. You kind of do, boo. Yeah. Like, I hate to say it, but you kind of look like you can't get off the internet. Go do something for someone else. Go volunteer somewhere. Go do something in another country. Help someone else, because right now you look a little mopey.
I've got to say, I love Chrissy Teigen, but I agree.
Me too.
Coming up on DBL, a daredevil gets bitten by a shark while filming a dangerous stunt, and what he's saying about the terrifying moments. And we're talking with David Hasselhoff's daughter, Hailey. She'll be telling us all about her experience being the first ever plus-size Playboy cover model. Super exciting.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. Let's head to the desk and continue the conversation with our host. Okay. Hi, Tor. How's it going?
I was watching Fonzie jump the shark in the Happy Days episode.
Oh, and we'll talk about the sharks coming up next, so stay tuned for that. How are you feeling about Britney today?
I gotta be honest, I made a lot of fun of the Free Britney movement, and I think a lot of some
of
you
us
thought it was overly done by fans being like, just let Britney live.
Do you remember that one viral video? Yes.
Chris something.
Yes, and a lot of people are apologizing to him now. How long ago was that? Probably about 5, 6 years, 10 years ago, longer, you think? Yeah, and he was crying, saying, Britney, we need to help Britney
live.
And we all made fun of that guy.
Leave Britney
for so long. And we all made fun of him. And so
it turns
we all
out
owe him an apology.
Yeah, and when I say she couldn't have coffee and fries, I don't mean like, oh, poor her.
Can I defend us as a society real quick?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of our narrative, we didn't have Twitter, Instagram, where we could hear other people's sides. We would just see it on the news. They could show a 10-second clip of you throwing something through a window, and they're
maybe
like,
a little out of
Kelly
context.
Schubert's lost her mind.
Yes, exactly.
The late night host come and make fun. We didn't have the background.
It's true, but I will ask you to go back to, I believe, 2008. Craig Ferguson has a now viral post where everyone was laughing. It was 2008, right after she had done the weird shaving, and said, "Shame on you. This girl is a mental problem, and she is mental health, and shame on us for making her feel bad." Oh. Okay, do I look like a screen from Pier 1? That's what Al said.
Like a room divider screen. Like a room divider screen.
This is like supposed to be my like.
Everybody in the background on that picture.
Oh God.
No, these are real pictures from my mom.
Yes, that's your mom's
Susan
room divider.
Granger is sending these.
DBL Nation, do you think she looks like a room divider
This
screen?
isn't right for my self-esteem.
I'll tell your mom I love her so much.
Let us know your thoughts. Bye.
You're bringing up.
Welcome back to DBL. It's Shark Week, a time where so many of us become complete fanatics for all things sharks. But this year, one of the Shark Week stunts has gone horribly wrong. So one of the guys from the Jackass TV show, Sean McInerney, was attempting to do a wakeboard jump over shark-infested waters when he fell in. Now, our lawyers are telling us that we must warn you, do not try this at home. But let's take a look at how Sean described the terrifying moment.
I think we went a little too slow, and I launched like 4 to 5 feet into the shark pit. And when I landed in that shark pit, I thought I was gonna die. There's like 10 sharks around me. I was trying to swim out, and I couldn't.
Sean's hand was completely mangled by the shark, and there are photos, but they are just too graphic for us to show you guys on TV. But let's just say it looks like it's going to take him a long time to recover. So what do you guys think about this? I don't even get this phrase, but did Shark Week jump the shark?
That's my favorite, is listen to a Brit be like, jump the shark. So if you guys don't know, jump the shark, the phrase came from this scene in Happy Days when Fonzie, wearing his leather jacket, literally goes to jump a shark.
Well, his stunt double did.
Or his stunt double did.
Yeah.
And they said that's when the show literally went from good to bad. And that the phrase jumping the shark comes from this ridiculous scene of him in the water with his leather jacket on.
Yeah.
Well explained.
Yeah, it was good. You know, I look at this situation with Shark Week, and I know a lot of people go, what producer okayed that? Who allowed this to happen? But I think we kind of continue to push the envelope because Shark Week got more and more popular. It was just a week where they just showed sharks for 5 days. Then it got a little bit popular with Sharknado. And next thing you know, 10 years later, you have to top yourself. And here we are with a young man that may have lost his hand. And I've thought about that. We've all been on TV for a while doing different shows. And watching that, I had this weird flashback of doing a show. I won't name what it is, but my co-host had to have a rose in his mouth as a professional guy with a bullwhip cracked the rose, and it was the whip was going. And I just remember how terrified he was, and how me and some other people were looking like, should we be doing this? But like the guy was. I mean, if you've ever seen a real whip before, and just like, but anybody that works in this industry knows that you're like, oh, just climb up there and jump off, and you're like, I don't know if I should do this. And I'm sure that was he's a professional stuntman, but you can see how these things can get out of control.
Well, we've also got some stats on sharks for you guys. So there's some new research that's come out that claims Hollywood's portrayal of the apex predator is painting the species in a negative light and making conservation efforts much more difficult. And of course, with Hollywood's fascination with sharks all started with Jaws, but according to this research, of the more than 100 sharks listed on IMDb, 96% of them portray interactions between sharks and humans as overtly threatening. So do you reckon that sharks have only got a bad name because of Hollywood? I mean, I think so.
So Jaws, just so you know, there's something called an archetype where we're all scared of it. It's something we're all born fearful of, and it's like a deep shadow. Shadows scare people all over the world globally, right? As a kid, as a baby, you're scared. So when Jaws made that shark a shadow in the water, I think it changed indelibly people's mind of sharks. Cows kill more people than sharks.
See?
Deer
Tori,
kill more people
You're getting into my conspiracy theory that I was talking about in South Carolina with my family. That all of the cute animals that we are indoctrinated with as kids are mean. Raccoons are super mean. Koalas, have you ever seen a koala bear soaking wet? Terrifying.
I showed you that picture.
Badgers are mean. Chimps will kill you.
Oh, chimps can take down a whole man.
All these cute animals that we're like showing, like, oh, go to, like they're really violent, and the really chill ones are kind of presented hippos, which are supposed to be like very dangerous.
I've got to love.
They kill they kill more Africans, I believe, than any other animal.
So
you've swam with sharks, right?
Yeah. No, like wild and without any protection or anything, but not when they're like feeding and not when there's masses of them. I think it's like some like logic you gotta think in there. Like it's like when you get a pack of dogs, they'll get really riled up and crazy, you know, and like it's just like they're like.
You're just gonna casually go.
You're in their environment.
You swam free with sharks, and you're like, yeah, but they weren't hungry or anything.
Yeah.
They could have been, but luckily I was all right.
Look how cool she is.
She's like a Bond girl.
She's like Lara Croft.
Yeah. Tomb Raider.
They're very sweet. They're very sweet. Coming up on DBL, the fabulous
I just picture you with a dagger in your mouth swimming.
Yeah. Casual. I just do that all the time. Hayley Hasselhoff, she's turning mental health struggles into success after growing up in the spotlight. Coming up next on Jungle Book.
Nearly 100.
First up, what you could get. To qualify, single filers need to make $75,000 or less. For joint filers, the cutoff is $150,000. For each child under the age of 6, you get $300 a month. For each child between 6 and 17, you get $250. These payments will last through December. Next, how will you get it? The IRS will send out the money today, but according to the tax experts, it could take 2 to 3 business days for the direct deposit to land in your account. But that's only if you usually get your refund by direct deposit. If the IRS doesn't have your account information, a paper check will be mailed out. The IRS has developed online tools to help answer some questions. Go to irs.gov and look for the Child Tax Credit Update portal on the front page. If the IRS does not have your banking information, you can enter it there so you can receive the next payment electronically. Or you can opt out of later payments if you decide you would rather claim the child tax credit on next year's taxes.
Welcome back to DBL. Haley Hasselhoff has grown up in the spotlight as the daughter of the Hoff, David Hasselhoff, and actress Pamela Bach. But now she's coming into her own as an advocate for body positivity and has launched her own new podcast. It is super dope. I listened to it. And we were all lucky enough to catch up with her on today's Chatting with the Stars.
Haley, welcome to DBL. Now, you started out being a curve model at age 14, but what was that like for you at that time? Because then there wasn't much awareness or even representation about body positivity. You're one of the pioneers.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I think for me, I look back at that time and I really look at it as a blessing. You know, I think everyone has their own journey when it comes to modeling, especially getting into the industry at such a young age. But for my own self-growth, to be around women who are voluptuous, fit, toned, and curved, I was like, wow, what is this underground world where people are celebrated for being themselves? And it really taught me the value and being able to use your voice to really represent that beauty comes in all different shapes and sizes. So it was such a beautiful experience for my own self, because like you said, media wasn't talking about it like they're talking about it today. And it helped me really find my power beyond my size.
Amen.
Well, Haley, congratulations are in order because you recently made history, becoming the first curve model to appear on the cover of a European Playboy for Playboy Germany. But this story really resonates with me a lot because you said you had to wear your own lingerie, and oftentimes representation is not available on set when it comes to hair, makeup, and wardrobe. So do you think that the magazine and fashion industry in general needs more work on being more inclusive?
I look at the positive, right? The positive was that I got to bring on pieces that made me feel comfortable. And as somebody who has worked within this industry for so many years, I had the opportunity and really the blessing to know what brands fit my style and what fit my body. So it really helped me on the day of the shoot. But do I think there's still a need for more size inclusive pieces out there that are available for anybody whenever they want them? 100%. We still have a long way to go in this industry.
What do your parents think about you posing in Playboy?
You know, they're super supportive of me and my choices. And you have to remember as well, I started out, like you said, when I was 14. So they were there with me. They drove me to Tord when I was shooting when I was, you know, under 18. And they saw how much I had to go through in my teenage years to really be able to feel comfortable within my skin. And they were a great support system beyond that. It's just mom and dad, you know, when it came to my body image and making me feel celebrated for who I was. And so I think that they look at this as a huge milestone for Curve in general and are just very, very happy for me.
You have a podcast called Redefine You, where you get super real, which I love, super raw, which I love, and you're talking about mental health. You're talking about dealing with social anxiety and depression. And like, why did you decide to put yourself out there like that? Because I look back at my life and I feel like a lot of people that I've grown up with had these things, but it just wasn't diagnosed. Did you see that with your friend group?
I kind of was curious to know what was in my friends' toolboxes. You know, when they're having a struggling moment, but they still have to show up on a live show, what do they do in that instance to pull it together or to be able to walk alongside their anxiousness? So we had an amazing run of talking to friends of mine in the industry on the Insta Live series, which now has graduated over to the podcast. We're not only going to be speaking to friends of mine about their ownership to self and their mental well-being journey, but we're also tapping into speaking to different wellness practitioners and really breaking down these stigmas that are around mental health toolboxes so that we can help you build your personalized toolbox so that if you have a challenging moment, you know what to divert to hopefully help you along the way before it gets to a crisis.
Girl, you are speaking my language. I feel like I could exhale just listening to you as someone who suffers from anxiety and depression. So thank you for breaking that stigma. So what have you learned speaking with some of the experts on your podcast? Any tools or tips that you could offer us as well as our viewers who are watching right now?
The 3 top tools that I would give you when it comes to living in a full state of acceptance, and that is tending to your emotional triggers, building your personalized toolbox, and really being able to live a life without self-judgment.
Wow, Haley, you're such a role model, and when I say that, I don't just say that to anybody. And I'm really thrilled that my daughter, at such a young age, will grow up with people like you being those role models. So I appreciate you, Haley. Thank you for joining us here in DBL. Be sure, DBL Nation, to catch Haley's podcast, Redefine You, a conversation for well-being. It is available right now. Check it out. And thank you again, Haley.
Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by Whether it's elastic,
it's a perfect time to take up viewer Pamela's inquiry. She wrote, a heating and cooling company told us that the AC can't cool more than 20 degrees below the temperature outside. So we adjust the thermostat accordingly. We have a heat pump. So is it true you shouldn't set your thermostat more than 20 degrees below the outside temperature? Our sources for this, the U.S. Department of Energy and home improvement expert Tom Garcia with Southern Evergreen. They say the answer is true, depending on your system.
So that is true in some instances. When a person has a heat pump system, heat pumps are very efficient and they're great for our area because we don't have extreme highs and extreme lows. So heat pumps are wonderful. But the thing about heat pumps is when we get really cold, they lose efficiency. If you get really hot, they lose efficiency. So you're right, that 20-degree margin is about right. Although some heat pumps are better than that. It depends on the quality of the heat pump.
If you don't have a heat pump and you have separate AC and furnace units, you don't have to follow the 20-degree rule. But our sources agree you should adjust the thermostat before you leave the house. The Energy Department advises you to set your thermostat to as high a temperature as comfortably possible in the summer and bump it up even higher when you're not home. The smaller the difference between the indoor and outdoor temperatures, the lower your overall cooling bill will be. But if adjusting your thermostat every day is too much hassle, Garcia has another suggestion.
And these little babies are sweet and they're not expensive anymore. You know, they used to be, but they're not anymore. Programmable thermostats. And so you can set them when you leave to go to work, you drop the temperature in your home or raise it, whatever the season may be, 4 to 5 degrees. And then just before you come back, maybe half hour, an hour before you're going to arrive home, let the system start to cooler, warm it back up again for you. That can really save a lot of energy.
In conclusion, we can verify, yes, if you have a heat pump, don't set your thermostat more than 20 degrees below the outside temperature. If you have a standalone AC unit, you can set it at whatever you want. Just adjust the temperature when you're not home to save energy.
Misleading posts shared thousands of times claim, quote, Japan has banned all BLM apparel from the Olympics. No one can kneel/raise fists during the anthems, end quote. But is that true? Let's verify. Our sources include the International Olympic Committee and the Olympic World Library. The Olympics are governed by the IOC and the Olympic Charter. It's a set of rules that everyone agrees to follow within the Olympic venue. Rule 50 of that charter states that no political, religious, or racial demonstrations or propaganda are permitted. So we can verify, no, Japan did not ban Black Lives Matter apparel and kneeling during anthems. It's the IOC that sets those rules. But the IOC did update their guidelines to allow athletes to express themselves on the field prior to the start of competition for the Tokyo Olympics. With your Fast Facts, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for some sweet, sweet deals because earlier I showed Tori some amazing products at even better prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com.
What do you have for us today, Stephanie?
Hey Tori, I'm here with some great products and deals for you guys. So first up, I've got something that will give your eyes the royal treatment that they deserve. It's the 12-pack Spa Life Rejuvenating Gold Dust Under Eye Patches. So these are loaded with collagen to rejuvenate the look of tired, aging under eyes. Normally a pack of these is as much as $20, but we've got it for only $10, saving our viewers up to 50%.
Half off, that's what I like to see.
Next up, I've got the perfect item to help you entertain guests all summer long. It's the Eternal Life Tiki Flame Wireless Speaker.
Oh, whoa.
This rechargeable speaker plays your favorite songs while the lamp flickers like a real torch. So normally this is as much as $50. We've got it for $25, saving our viewers up to 50%.
So you're taking half off everything. Thank you, Stephanie.
Love this.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And now dermatologists can get really expensive, but I've got something that's going to cleanse your face like the professionals. It's the Eco Bloom Spa Facial Beauty Steamer with an extraction.
Oh, yeah.
So you can use the Steamer's facial mask and clear pores. Normally, this is as much as $50, but right now, we've got it only for $24, saving 52%.
You just go out there with glowing skin knowing your wallet is full.
And last but not least, I've got something that blends fashion with function. It's the 2-pack touchscreen purse backed by Lori Greiner. You can keep your smartphone clean, safe, and accessible. You just touch it through the back. So normally it's as much as $60, but we've got 2 for $90. Saving our viewers 68%.
Okay, guys, if you don't know Lori Greiner, she is a shark from Shark Tank, and this is something she got from Shark Tank. Great products, Stephanie. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone. Thanks again, Steph.
DBL is new every single day, and we'll be back tomorrow, so go check out those deals because they're so amazing in the meantime.
Price Wizard, this one.
I love that Tori called me the Price Wizard.
Price Wizard.
See you tomorrow, guys.